The times I've been over here, for some reason, my golf swing hasn't been where it needs to be, and right now it feels as good as it's ever been, and hitting it far, hitting it as straight as I can, and learning how to putt better on these greens in windy conditions and rain and all that. It's just figuring it out, and it's just going to take time, and something that I've never really experienced growing up in California.
Hey everybody, good morning. We are in Royal Portrush after a long travel day. I think we're all pretty well rested here, so we are heading to the course for practice rounds and press conferences.
I'm looking forward to finding the best golf bench in the world. It's right off the back of the 6th tee. Everyone's been sitting and taking pictures in it all week. It's one of my happy places. This is, in my opinion, the best golf bench in the world. Now, everybody has a golf bench at their home club that they love. This is not my home club, but this is my favorite golf bench because of what you get to look at. I'm just trying to imagine a better place to watch some golf, watch some people down on the shore, watch people just enjoy themselves, put your leg up, maybe have a cup of coffee, and just soak it in. When it's not so wet, it is absolutely my happy place. PGA Tour pros have been making the most of that. Guys are just kind of plopping down here, taking a look at their yardage books, soaking it all in. It's a little bit like the 13th tee at Augusta National. Like, only players get to come back here. And the best thing about golf benches, whether you like this one that I'm sitting on or the one at your home club, they're often dedicated to people. So we've got this one dedicated to Jim McDowell, or as they pronounce it here, McDowell, from just a few of his many golfing friends. So you can just imagine, on his 70th birthday, they wanted to put this together to commemorate one of their old pals. It's like 5 or 6 wide. You can imagine 6 people from Northern Ireland just kind of taking it all in right here. Jim and all his buddies. This is, in my opinion, the most proper Open Championship test because it just has everything. It tests everything. That's what guys have been saying this week. Dunes, working shots off of dunes. Fescue, light fescue, really crappy, thorny lies in the places you're not supposed to go. You know, the greens are slower than what they're used to, but they're perfect greens, and they're slopier than what you get in normal links land. Some of these greens you actually have to hit up to, which means on the side of them are all these little wavy swells, right? Every shot out here is a challenge, which means we have a proper Open Championship ahead of us.
More of it's just a mentality. I think when you say links golf, it comes with weather.
What's the difference between winning an Open Championship and entering here with more questions than answers every year? We heard it on Tuesday afternoon at the Open.
If it's blowing 10 to 15 miles an hour and it's downwind, most courses are designed to be played with a certain wind direction. So knowing you can hit a gap wedge from 175 yards, knowing it's going to hit and take that skip, and hitting it to 30, 35 feet short, it's a good shot.
He talked about how winning in the links land is a lot about luck. If you're on the right side of the wave, he said, you can go low, you can put yourself in contention. And if you're not, you got to grind like hell, deal with your unlucky break, and hope you put yourself there. The second guy who we heard from was Bryson DeChambeau. He's struggled in the Open throughout his career, and he's made no bones about it. He is a scientist. He likes to have things exact. He likes to know his calculations and then execute the shot based on that information.
I just look at the smoothness of the green. You know, they could be slow, they could be fast. As long as they're smooth, the best putters will win. And that's all I care about. So as long as this week the greens are smooth and they're not bouncing and moving all over the place, the best putter that feels the wind the best is going to win. And that's what I would attribute to good golf as well.
His hope for this week is that the putting greens are smooth and steady, just the way that he likes them. Of course, if you weren't listening too closely, it didn't sound like the two golfers were saying anything too differently, but the difference couldn't be more cavernous. For Xander Schauffele, he understands that links golf is about uncertainty. It's about embracing the unknown, making the best out of the worst possible situations. For Bryson DeChambeau, links golf is an effort and a hope and a prayer in getting the exact circumstances that he's hoping for. The truth, of course, is that links golf is not about perfection. It's about embracing the uncertainty. Xander, of course, left here last year as the champion golfer of the year. He was the man who conquered Royal Troon in the craziness of the wind and the rain. And Bryson was already at home. He'd missed the cut.
You know, it's great to win tournaments. It's a lot of fun. You know, sometimes the feeling of winning only lasts a few seconds, and you know the show goes on, and that's just how it is.
Scottie Scheffler got really existential near the end of his press conference today. His answers to the last few questions were some of the most interesting stuff I've ever heard from a professional athlete talking about success.
You know, there's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and then they're like, what's the point?
We've heard other guys that reach a high level of success struggle with this. You know, what happens when you get to the top of the mountain? It's a natural thing to wonder when you achieve this level of excellence. Scottie was really insightful, talking about just how fleeting it is, the joy that comes from a victory.
What is the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like, why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, you know?
I would say sometimes when we hear guys talk about this, there's a real struggle. There's maybe a lack of balance in their life. With Scottie, that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. He seems to have a good amount of perspective on this. He always reiterates that this is not his priority. This is not the most important thing in his life.
I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, you know, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living.
Still, it is interesting to see and hear someone who's the best at what they do in the entire world grapple with what that means. You go to a lot of these press conferences, now and then you hear something special, interesting that jumps out, and that was definitely the case today.
What I'm trying to say is this is not the place to look for your satisfaction. This is something that's where you can have a great appreciation for and a great amount of thankfulness for being able to do this. And it's, I mean, like I said, it's literally one of the most fun things that I can do in my entire life. I love being able to come out here and play golf and compete. But at the end of the day, it's just not what satisfies me.
Totally agree with Dylan that Scottie's presser got me thinking. It was very deep. Another one that I liked was Bob McIntyre. He says he allows himself to go totally mental after a bad day on the golf course, which felt kind of relatable.
I tell everyone, give me an hour. I can go as mental as I want for an hour, and then after that, I just back to life.
So what do you mean mental? Like you're on your own? Or you just?
I can do whatever I want for an hour. Anything that I want. Can break things, you can literally do whatever I want for an hour, but after that hour's gone, my job's done.
Right.
Like, for an hour and a half before my round, 2 hours before my round, I'm preparing, so nobody gets in my way. Like, just warm up, stretching, gym work, all of that. So there is a, 5, 6, 7, 8 hour window that I'm working. And if you have a bad day at work, you're going to be annoyed.
It happens more often than not.
Do you know what I mean? So it happens more often than not for me as well.